Hello students, in the last video we have discussed about heat, temperature and thermometer, and we have discussed about different types of thermometer, that is clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer, and we have discussed about their differences. In this video we will discuss about the transfer of heat by conduction, convection and by radiation. And also we will discuss about the good conductors and bad conductors of heat. First we will discuss about the transfer of heat. Heat from one part of an object to its other part or from one object to another object is called transfer of heat. Okay, for example, if we dip a steel spoon in a water and we find that the temperature of spoon rises and it becomes hot. Here some of the heat transferred in water has been transferred to spoon which is placed in it. Okay, so here we can say that heat flows from a hot object to a cold object, or heat flows from an object at high temperature to another object at lower temperature. The flow of heat stops when the two objects attain the same temperature. Okay, that means no heat will be transferred from one object to another if the temperature of the object is same. For example, if an iron ball at some temperature and it is dropped into a bucket and containing water at the same temperature, then the heat will not flow either from iron ball to water or from water to iron ball. So we will now describe the various ways in which heat can be transferred from a hot object to a cold object. Heat can be transferred from a hot object to a cold object in three different ways. One is by conduction, by convection and by radiation. In solids, heat is transferred by conduction. Now we will discuss about conduction. If we heat one end of a metal spoon by keeping it over a gas burner, we find that its other end also becomes hot after a while. In this case, heat is transferred from the hot end of the metal spoon to its cold end. Now, when heat is transferred from the hotter end of spoon to its colder end, there is no movement of the material of the spoon from one end to another. Such a transfer of heat from the hot part of a material to its colder part is called a conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat from the hotter part of a material to its colder part. So, here without the movement of material as a whole. Now we will discuss one activity. So this activity shows the conduction of heat. Here we take a flat aluminium rod and fix some small iron nails on it with the help of wax. This rod is clamped to a stand as shown. Let us heat the free end of the aluminium rod by keeping a burner below it. We will see that the iron nails attached to aluminium rod with wax start falling one by one. The nail attached nearest to the heated end of rod falls down first, and then the next ones fall. But the nail attached to the clamped end of the rod drops last of all. These observations can be explained. I'll explain this. The burner is placed below the left end of aluminium rod, so the left end of aluminium rod gets heated first. Now the left end of aluminium rod is hot, but the right end of the rod is cold. So heat is now transferred from the hotter left end of aluminium rod to its colder right end. As heat travels from the left side to the right side along the aluminium rod, it melts the wax and which holds the nails. Due to this, the nails fall down one by one. From this activity, we conclude that heat is transferred from the hot end of aluminum rod to its colder end by the process of conduction. Okay, the transfer of heat by the process of conduction takes place only in solids. Now we will discuss about good conductors of heat and poor conductors of heat. So here, some materials conduct heat easily whereas other materials do not conduct heat easily. So, on the basis of conduction of heat, all the materials are classified into two groups. One is good conductors of heat and poor conductors of heat. Now we will discuss about good conductors. Those materials which allow heat to pass through them easily are called good conductors of heat. All the metals are good conductors of heat. For example, the metals such as good conductor like silver, copper, aluminium, iron and mercury are all good conductors of heat. Though all the metals are good conductors of heat, some metals are better conductors of heat than others. For example, silver metal is the best conductor of heat. Copper is one of the best conductors of heat. Aluminium is also a very good conductor of heat. Okay, metal alloys such as brass, steel, stainless steel are also good conductors of heat. And alloys are also good conductors of heat since metals and their alloys are good conductors of heat. Therefore, if one end of an object made of metal is heated, then its other end becomes hot very quickly. Okay. Stone and tiles are also quite good conductors of heat. Now we will see poor conductors of heat. Those materials which do not allow heat to pass through them easily are called poor conductors of heat. The materials which are poor conductors of heat are called insulators. So, poor conductors of heat is an insulator of heat. Some of the examples of poor conductors of heat are plastic, wood, paper, cloth, leather, cotton, wool, thermocol, rubber, clay, bricks, cane, bamboo, straw, glass, fiberglass, water and air. In general, liquids are poor conductors of heat and gases are very poor conductors of heat. For example, water is a poor conductor of heat and air is a very poor conductor of heat. In fact, air is a very good insulator of heat. Okay, the materials which trap air, okay, wool, fur, feathers are very poor conductors of heat. Okay, materials having trapped air in them are excellent insulators of heat. Okay. If one end of an object made of a poor conductor material and it is heated, then its other end does not become hot. It either remains almost cold or becomes only slightly hot. Now we will see the uses of good conductors and poor conductors of heat. Okay, we make use of good conductors of heat as well as poor conductors of heat. Okay, here good conductors are used to carry heat quickly where it is wanted. Poor conductors also used to stop heat from going where it is not wanted. Okay, now see here, the cooking utensils are provided with the handles made of plastic, right? This is because plastic is poor conductor of heat. So, a plastic handle prevents the heat from hot cooking utensil reaching our hand. So that we can lift the hot cooking utensil safely from its handle. So we are using here utensil provided with the handles made of plastic or wood. Now, mercury is a metal which is used to making thermometers because it is a good conductor of heat. And the handle of a soldering iron is made of wood because wood is a poor conductor of heat. Now, why do we wear woolen clothes in winter? We wear woolen clothes in winter because when it is cold outside. Woolen clothes keep us warm during cold winter days. This happens so wool is a poor conductor of heat, due to which woolen clothes stop the flow of heat from our warm body to the cold surroundings. So there is air is trapped in between the fibers of the woolen clothes. Air is a very poor conductor of heat, so the air trapped in the fibers of woolen clothes also stops the flow of heat from our warm body to the cold surroundings. Now we will see about convection. We have just studied the transfer of heat in solids takes place by the process of conduction. The transfer of heat in liquids and gases, however, takes place by the process of convection. Convection is the transfer of heat from the hotter parts of a liquid to its colder parts by the movement of the liquid itself. Here the transfer of heat by the convection takes place only in liquids. Now we will see convection in water. What is a convection in water? Water is a poor conduction of heat and so it cannot transfer heat by conduction. Water transfers heat by the process of convection. So in order to heat water, we keep the vessel containing water over a gas burner. Now, though the burner is kept at the bottom of the vessel, but it still heats all the water in the vessel. Actually, when water is heated in a vessel, it transfers heat from its hotter parts to its colder parts by the process of convection. When a beaker containing water is kept over a burner, water at the bottom of beaker gets heated and expands and becomes lighter. This hot water rises upwards and carries heat along with it. The cold water from above sinks downwards to take the place of hot rising water. So, this cold water then gets heated by the burner and also rises upwards, carrying its heat upwards. So, cold water sinks downwards. This process of heat, water rising upwards and cold water sinking downwards takes place again and again, due to which the whole water in the beaker gets heated uniformly. So, circulatory movements of water in the beaker in which hot water rises and cold water sinks again and again. This is called a convection of heat. Now we will see the convection in air. Air is a very poor conductor of heat. So, air cannot transfer heat by the process of conduction. So, air transfers heat from its hotter parts to colder parts by the process of convection. So, now we will see the land breeze. At night time, the hot land cools much faster than the warm sea water. Due to this, the land becomes cool very quickly, but the sea water remains warm for much longer time. So, during night, the hot air over the warm sea rises upwards and cooler air from the land blows in towards the sea in the form of a breeze. So, the breeze blowing from the land towards the sea is called land breeze. Land breeze blows only during the night when the sea water is hotter than the land. Now we will see sea breeze. During daytime, when the sun shines, the solid land gets heated to a higher temperature, much more quickly than the liquid sea water. The hot air over the land rises upwards and cooler air from over the sea moves towards the land in the form of a cool breeze. The breeze blowing from the sea towards the land is called a sea breeze. So here the cool sea breeze blows only during the daytime when the land is hotter than the sea. To receive the cool sea breeze during the day, the windows of houses in coastal areas are made to face the sea. Now we will see about radiation. Radiation is, when we switch on an electric bulb, it becomes hot and gives out heat and light. Now, if we keep our hand a short distance below the glowing bulb, we can feel its heat on the hand. So, this means that the hot glowing bulb is transferring some of its heat to our hand below it. Now, every hot object emits invisible heat rays in all the directions. Now, how does heat from the sun reach on the earth? The sun is very far away from the earth, and there is mainly empty space between the sun and the earth. Even then heat from the sun reaches the earth, now heat from the sun cannot reach the earth by conduction or convection. Because both these processes require a material medium to transfer heat. They cannot take place in empty space. Heat from the sun reaches on the earth by the process of radiation. Here the sun is an extremely hot object and sun emits heat radiations in all the directions. These heat radiations travel through vacuum between the sun and the earth at very high speed and reaches on the earth. When the sun's radiation falls on the earth and its objects, they receive heat energy and hence get heated. So thus the sun's heat reaches the earth by the process of radiation. The invisible heat rays which transfer heat by radiation are called infrared rays. So this is all about the transfer of heat. I hope you have understood the transfer of heat by conduction, convection and by radiation. So, thank you students. Thank you for watching this video.